Welcome back to the Thinking Crypto podcast, your home for cryptocurrency news and interviews. If you are new here, please hit that subscribe button as well as the thumbs up button and leave a comment below. If you're listening on a podcast platform such as Apple, Spotify, or Google, please leave a 5-star rating and review. It supports the podcast and it doesn't cost you anything. This content is brought to you by Uphold, which is a great platform where you can buy, sell, trade cryptocurrencies, as well as precious metals and equities. I've been using Uphold since 2017, so I can vouch for this platform. They have 10 plus million users, 250 plus cryptocurrencies, and they're available in 150 countries. As with all exchanges, you can buy and sell on them, but I highly recommend you custody your own crypto, not your keys, not your coins. If you'd like to learn more about Uphold, please visit the link in the description. All right, my friends, it's a battle between the bears and the bulls. Of course, the bears are trying to send Bitcoin down. They want it to not hit those key support levels. They don't want it to break through the resistance levels and so forth. They just want it to go down because they're shorting. And of course, the bulls have some momentum right now because the retracement for Bitcoin seems to be playing out here. If I share my chart on TradingView, you can see we are on that trajectory, on that trend, moving up into the retracement. I've been sharing this chart with you guys for 6+ months, right? We've been talking about it. We've been patiently waiting, and it seems like we're out of the max pain zone. However, as always, I'm cautiously optimistic because I don't know the future and we never know. A black swan event could happen and Bitcoin just rolls over. Bitcoin does not do its retracement of 40 to 50,000, right? So you have to be prepared for all scenarios, and we have to let these rallies prove themselves because bears do have a strong case. There's a lot of macroeconomic factors with inflation, the Fed, and much more. But, the price is moving and slowly and steadily here. And we see after Bitcoin's pump, the alts started moving as well. You look at Ethereum, it's right now over $1,700. I took some profits on the Fetch token. The fetch.ai token. I had bought some in the dip, bought it around 8-9 cents, sold it around 30 cents. So, I'm swing trading along the way. I still have my long-term hold bags. I've talked about I would take profits for Bitcoin around $40,000 to $50,000 if it were to retrace there. And then, of course, if altcoins also follow Bitcoin's move, as we see they typically do, I will take some profits on alts. Then once Bitcoin rolls back over to test lows again, then I'll continue to dollar cost average and continue to hodl and be patient and, until we enter the next bull cycle, which I believe starts next year, which is the 2024 halving. That's the official confirmation. One could argue this move upwards here is the start of the bull market, but I don't look at it that way, but that's okay. At the end of the day, we're all headed to the same destination, and that is the next bull market. So regardless of where you start, right? So once again, the battle continues, and we're seeing Bitcoin trying to break through some important resistance levels here. It's looking very similar to 2019, as I've been talking about for months after the 2018 bear market. Let's see what happens. I'm not saying this is guaranteed. I'm not saying this is a certainty. It is a probability. So please keep that in the back of your mind. And with that Bitcoin move, of course, we may see a nice altcoin rally. So here, this analyst said the altcoin market cap is on the verge of breakout. That would mean a clear trend reversal plus strong moves in the altcoin market. And he shared falling wedge chart patterns here. But once again, this is not a certainty. It's a scenario that could play out. And Caleb Frenzen, who's a great analyst that I follow, he said, if Bitcoin manages to break above the 200-week moving average cloud, which is becoming increasingly likely, we're going to see a lot more TradFi coverage of crypto again. What does that mean? CNBC will start talking about, Bitcoin is over this and blah, blah, blah. And I think, a key psychological price point will be 30,000. I think if Bitcoin breaks through 30,000, I think you're going to start seeing the media coverage again, and a lot of retail are going to jump in. But of course, that's the dumb money crowd. You don't want to be jumping into the market when CNBC is telling you Bitcoin is doing well, and Jim Cramer says now's the time to buy. Right? That's the wrong time. The right time is when we were in the max pain zone, blood on the streets, people are scared, right? That's when I was accumulating. And I had to learn that lesson. Don't get me wrong, because my first go around, I did not do it right. And then I did it right in 2018, 2019, made money in the last bull market. And now doing the same thing, rinse and repeat, right? This applies for the stock market as well, even real estate. You buy depreciated assets when they're at the lows, you hold and be patient, and you wait for the next bull market to take your profits. Now, as always, I'm not a financial advisor, and you should talk to a registered financial advisor, but you do not invest your life savings when it comes to risk assets like this. You want to use disposable income. You don't want to touch your 401k. You don't want to touch your rainy day fund and all these things, right? I have my 401k. I don't touch it. It doesn't involve crypto. I have my savings and blah, 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 right? I don't touch it. It doesn't go to crypto because this is, when it comes to investing, there's a lot of risk. So please, if you're new to investing, you need to learn these things, and don't just dump all your cash in it. Now, guys, we've been facing a lot of crypto enforcement actions from the SEC and other agencies. And I think we're starting to see people finally speaking out about this. And when I say people, I mean those in the crypto industry who are leaders, builders, CEOs, and so forth. And I'm like, it's about time. Like, I've been calling for like a coalition of all crypto companies in the US to come together and sue the SEC. And, maybe that's like a pipe dream, right? But I'm hoping they can do this because we have to go in the offensive here. Now, Cameron Winklevoss, of course, one of the Winklevoss twins, he tweeted out, he said, "My working thesis at the moment is that the next bull run is going to start in the East. It will be a humbling reminder that crypto is a global asset class and that the West, really the US, always only ever had two options: embrace it or get left behind. It can't be stopped. That we know. Any government that doesn't offer clear rules and sincere guidance will be left in the dust quickly. This will mean missing out on the greatest period of growth since the rise of the commercial internet. And it will mean missing out on shaping and being a foundational part of the future financial infrastructure of this world and beyond." He's absolutely right, guys. We've talked about this on the podcast for years, right? And if the US does not get this right, they will get left behind. They got it right with the internet, and look at what that did for our economy and jobs and the creation of new businesses and so forth. Right now, they are not doing things right. Hopefully, Congress can, get it, just do something this year, or, maybe next year, maybe the president, all politics aside, that they can wake up, like, what is happening here? But right now, there's a lot of things going on with Russia and Ukraine and all, there's other things, but they can't force this thing overseas. It's going to hurt the US, and it's going to be really bad. One hope I have, though, is that the SEC takes a big loss with the Ripple lawsuit. And here's Stuart Alderati, general counsel at Ripple. He tweeted out, "To the extent that the mere will of an agency official or an agency itself is permitted to exceed the authority granted by law, the government becomes an autocracy. Against this threat of officialdom unchained, the courts have always been vigilant." This is Jones versus the SEC in 1936. So I think Stewart is highlighting here the courts, will ultimately see how this plays out, like Judge Torres and so forth, that the SEC is in the wrong. And while, they have, because they're part of the government, they kind of go unchecked, right? You see Gary Gensler just running around doing what he wants, and it seems like no one is keeping him in check, right? But the courts can put a stop to this. So I think he's alluding to here that the courts will put the SEC in the right place when it comes to this lawsuit, and hopefully they take a big loss and XRP and Ripple get the clarity. XRP gets relisted. It will be a big win for the crypto industry. So I don't care if you hate Ripple, you can hate Ripple. I don't care. I don't care if you don't hold XRP, but we need a victory here because Gary Gensler is out of control. Now, Rosalind Layton, who often covers a lot of the SEC Ripple lawsuit and has been writing a lot of articles over the years, especially through Forbes. Well, she penned an article titled "Time to Unseal the Hinman Documents," and this is in the DC Journal. And of course, she talks about, the ethics violations, and we know the SEC does not want these documents out there, my friends. They have a lot to hide. If they didn't, they would have already come out here and say, hey, here's these documents. We don't care, right? There's nothing to hide, and call Ripple's bluff. But Ripple's kind of got them by the balls here, because there's a lot of things in here, the SEC, they don't want you to see. And it's going to be really bad, detrimental for the SEC if these documents were to come out. And I hope they do, because it will give them a big loss on the political level and show the corruption that's been going on, and how the SEC itself has just become, kind of an enforcement agency for the incumbents. They're not here to protect retail investors. They've fallen far from their core mission. So it's sad to see things like that happen. And this is where we need the situation corrected. And I hope that the Ripple case will do that. And there'll be multiple benefits to Ripple winning, is essentially what I'm trying to say. Here's a thought that I wanted to share. This is from Mike Ippolito. He said the SEC can't kill crypto. All they can do is delay it and push it out of the US. By the time policymakers realize their mistake, it'll be too late, and they will have to explain to the American people why they exiled one of the world's most important industries. So once again, a lot of voices coming out now and criticizing the SEC, and it's about time. They should have started doing this since the Ripple lawsuit. But, people were Ripple haters, XRP haters, because of tribalism in the crypto community. And now they're feeling the pain. They were warned that Gary Gensler was going to come after everything, and that day is here. He's coming after your staking, whatever it is, you name it. He's going to come after your NFTs, everything. He wants to make everything a security. All right, guys, what do you think about the news? Let me know what you think. Let's see what Bitcoin will do today. Will the bears continue to keep the momentum here and push Bitcoin through these resistance levels of 25,000? I think it's 25,200. And, I'm hoping it does, right? Because I want to make money. I want to take profits. That's, so I'm a bit biased there. But like I said, I'm prepared for all scenarios. If it goes back down, that's okay. I continue to dollar cost average. All right, guys, let me know what you think, and I'll talk to you all later.